You ever notice how the hardest seasons of your life are also the quietest ones? Not loud, not dramatic, just quiet. The phone stops ringing the way it used to. The people that you thought would show up didn't. And you're sitting in a room by yourself wondering if you're behind, right? If you're broken, or if you just missed something that somebody else seemed to figure out. I want to talk to you for a minute because I think you're in one of those rooms right now. And I think somebody needs to tell you what's actually happening inside of it.
I was lost.
Every route tells a story.
I was lost trying to figure it out. Came up with a plan and went Ricosroute. Yeah, I was lost.
What's going on, guys? I'm Rico. This is Ricosroute, the channel where we break down money, mindset, and the moves that actually change your life from somebody who sits across a table from real people doing it every day. And today's not really like a money video, not on the surface, but I believe by the end, I think you'll see why this is one of the most important money conversations that me and you can have right now. So here's where this all came from. I was sitting in a meeting earlier this week, and somebody slid a paper across the table to me. And the paper was about perseverance, right? Just the concept, simple and pure. And I'm reading it, and I'm seeing names that I already know, right? Thomas Edison, Walt Disney, Branson. And I almost dismissed it because I've heard those stories probably 100 times, right? But then something hit me I never noticed before. Every single one of those people, I mean every one of them, went through a season where nobody was watching. Edison in a lab alone failing 10,000 times before the light bulb worked. Disney broke eating dog food in a city where nobody believed in him. Branson sitting in a classroom labeled the problem child, alone in his own head because his brain didn't work the way the schools wanted it to. And we tell those stories like the isolation was the obstacle, like the quiet was the bad part of the story where they had to push through to get to the good part. But what if we got that backwards? What if the quiet wasn't the obstacle? What if the quiet was actually the classroom? See, here's what I'm starting to understand. And I want to share with you because I think that you need to hear it. When your life gets loud, right? When there's people around, when the calendar's full, when everybody wants a piece of you, you can't actually hear yourself think. You're reacting. You're performing, you're keeping up. There's no room for the truth to land because the truth needs silence to be heard. So sometimes, and I personally believe this, I believe this is God. You can call it whatever you need to make it make sense for you, but I believe that God clears the room. He clears and empties out the calendar. The people fade back, and you find yourself inside a season where it's just you and your thoughts and a whole lot of quiet you didn't ask for. And the first instinct is to panic. It's to fill that space, to grab your phone, scroll, text, distract, anything to get the silence to stop. But the silence isn't the enemy. The silence is the invitation. Because in the quiet is when you finally hear the thing that you've been running from. The thing about your money, the thing about your habits, the thing about the cycle you keep ending up in, the thing about who you actually are when nobody's clapping. That can't be punishment. That has to be the classroom. Now, let me bring this home, all right? Because this is still Ricosroute, right? I'm still a financial advisor, so let's bring this back to finances. I sit across the table from people every week who tell me the same thing. Rico, I tried everything. I've done the budget. I've cut the cards. I've tried the savings. Nothing works. I'm just bad with money, right? And I always tell them the same thing back. You haven't failed. You've just found a few ways that don't work yet. Just not the same. That's not the same as failure, right? That's data. That's the lab. That's Edison on attempt 47, except you stopped at attempt 3 because nobody told you attempt 3 wasn't the finish line. It was the warm up. You know why people never get out of the cycle? It's not because they don't know what to do. Half of them know exactly what to do. They quit during the quiet part. The part where the budget is working but nothing looks different yet. The part where the debt is going down but the number is still ugly. The part where you're doing everything right but nobody is clapping. That's the part where it gets built. And that's the part most people can't sit in, because the silence makes them feel like they're failing when they're actually being shaped. There's a verse that I've literally committed to memory that I go back to, James 1, verses 2 through 4, and it says, "Consider it pure joy when you face trials of many kinds, because the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work, so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything." I want you to catch that one phrase, let perseverance finish its work, because most of us don't. We interrupt it. We tap out in the middle. We mistake the discomfort of being shaped for the signal that we're on the wrong path, but the discomfort is the shaping. You can't get to not lacking anything, right, without letting the process finish. And you can't let the process finish if you're constantly running from the room that you're in. So let me talk to whoever it is that needs to hear this. You're not behind. You're not broken. You're not the only one who didn't get the memo. You're in the room where it gets built. And the reason it feels heavy isn't because something's wrong. It's because something's being made out of you that couldn't be made any other way. The people that you admire, the ones whose lives that you scroll past and you wish that you had, they didn't skip this part, they sat in it. Some of them sat in it longer than you've sat inside yours. And one day the quiet broke, and everybody on the outside called it luck, called it overnight, called it a blessing, and it wasn't. It was the 10,000 attempts that nobody saw. It was a season of silence where they finally heard the thing they needed to hear. It was perseverance finishing its work. If you're in the quiet right now, with your money, with your life, with your faith, with whatever you're carrying, I want you to stop trying to escape the room. Sit in it. Listen. Ask a question you've been avoiding. Look at the number you've been scared to look at. Open the app that you've been ignoring. Whatever the quiet is asking you to face it. Because the route out doesn't start when the noise comes back. It starts right now in the silence while nobody's watching. That's where it gets built. I'm Rico. This is Ricosroute. My goal is to make financial literacy cool again. I'll see you on the next one, because your money should have a route and not just a routine.
I was lost trying to figure it out. Yeah. I was lost trying to figure it out. Came up with a plan and went Ricosroute. Yeah. I was lost trying to figure it out. Shit. I was lost, yeah. I was lost, yeah. I was lost trying to figure it out. Came up with a plan and went Ricosroute. Yeah. I was lost trying to